Hi everybody, thanks for tuning in to the AFV factory. So I've now completed construction on the factory wall and gate and trimmed it to size so it will fit onto the display base that it's going on. So that's as it stands now. So the next task is to crack on and do a bit of painting with it. So firstly I'm just going to be using this acrylic artist paint in sand. I've used this quite a bit before. It's a good paint. You can thin it down so you can get it to go a long way, and basically what this is going to be achieving initially is as a primer, so that future coats of paint will have something to adhere to, and also just to squeeze the paint into all of the what will be the mortar joints here. And then afterwards I will then go around it and paint the bricks individually. I mean, I'll use a fair amount of different shades of colour on the bricks just to give it some tonal variation and just to make it a bit more interesting to look at. In reality the bricks would probably be very, very similar in colour, if not all the same colour. They would have come from the same factory. But on a scale model, if you can get some variation in and some different shades and different tones, it just makes it look more interesting to the eye. So I'm using quite a big brush. As I say, this is just purely to get paint on as much as possible, or as quickly as possible, not as much as possible. And I have thinned this down approximately 70-30 paint versus water, just straightforward tap water. Try and push it into the mortar joints, and obviously having thinned it, it should be able to, I should be able to get it into these joints more easily than had it been unthinned. So overall, now that I've built this, I have to say I've been very impressed with it. It was easy to put together. The instructions are a bit vague, but the construction is easy enough that you're not needing complicated instructions. You don't need to it doesn't make you sort of think, oh, I don't understand, or I don't know where this bit goes. And it's the final result is very good. I think it looks very realistic, and I think it will be once I get it painted up. Hopefully I'll do a decent job of it. And it's nice and sturdy, and it's light as well, so it's not like something that's made out of maybe plaster or that type of thing, where it's quite heavy, and also it's it will take now it's glued together, it will take a bit of breaking. I was a bit worried initially about these bricks, because where they're cut through, you know, you can see here they're cut almost all the way through, and so they were quite fragile, and I was a bit concerned about that. Once I realised that it's stuck onto another bit of board, and that is solid. Once that's glued on there, then all that fragility just disappears. You know, it will take a bit of breaking, definitely. So as you can see, made a start on that. It's quite quick. I won't bore you with a video that is all about me, or watching me just paint this. So I'll leave it for there. I'll speed the process up, and then I'll add to the video once it's all done, and you can have a look at that. So speeding up time now. So the first coat of paint has gone on easily enough. I wasn't expecting to be any issues, but sometimes you just don't know with this stuff what might throw a spanner in the works and make life difficult, but not this time, which is good. I've always just assumed to myself that I was going to paint this brickwork, but now, you know, in a brick style. But now that I've painted it with this, I'm quite liking the look of this with a, you know, as a painted brick really. So I shall have to have a little think about it and see where I want to go with this. Maybe have a look at some photos or a bit of a web search and see how likely it was that factories would be, you know, have the brickwork painted. So the stonework, I've gone over it in bits and places, but it needs a bit of work done on it. There's some raised grain, which is not going to be suitable to be left, obviously, if it's supposed to be stone. So I'm going to have to just simply just go over it and sand it, I think. Because these brick, where the bricks have been cut out, because it is so deep, it's difficult to get the paint to get in there and then stay in there. I mean, it does work, because you can see this area that I painted first, pretty much that's all stayed in place. It's probably a case of me leaving this to dry and then going over it again. I'm clearly not going to get a finished cover in one go, and I wasn't really trying to anyway. As I said, this was as much a primer as anything else, just to give the future coats of paint something to adhere to better. So I think, apart from giving these a brush over where the paint's a bit thick, so I don't want it to look painted, I don't want any brush marks in it. So I'll leave that there. I'll carry on with that, but I don't think you want to see me doing much more painting really. And the next time I do a video part 2 of this, I'll be working on, or decided whether I'm going to go with bare brick or painted brick. I've got the stonework tidied up ready for paint, and decide what colour I'm going to paint the shingles. I know what I'm going to do with the corrugated roofing sections. So yeah, so obviously I'm pleased with that. I would definitely recommend this as a diorama, add something you wanted to add to a diorama or build a diorama around it. I found it very easy to go together. As I said, I glued it with PVA and some of it where I had a lack of patience with super glue. Yeah, and it's nice and easy to work with. And the plan is still to put the E50 in there, so you can see that will sit in there, something like that, and then obviously I can crack on with the base later. So yeah, I'll leave it from there. Thanks for tuning in, and keep an eye on the channel, and there'll be further posts when I get round to doing it. Cheers.